Nigeria will be shut down should the federal government attempt to remove the fuel subsidy as allegedly being proposed. I repeat, Nigeria will be shut down should the federal government attempt the removal of the fuel subsidy as allegedly being proposed. Gentlemen of the press, may I read to you the decision of over 41 million Nigerian students, both home and diaspora. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, wish to formally respond to the proposed removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria, as stated a few days ago by the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, where she expressed the federal government intention to remove the fuel subsidy by February 2022 and give the poorest 40 million people a transport grant of 5,000 naira each. Our government have come again. As the representative of Nigerian masses and Nigerian students in particular, both home and diaspora, we wish to state categorically that the proposed removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government is a time bomb which might explode anytime soon. Coming at a time, the country is on the dangerous bend with rising inflation, low minimum wage, and income for average Nigerian. We consider the proposed and untimely anti-people policy. As such, Nigerian students, under our leadership, will reject it in totality. It should be noted that even if the federal government has any genuine reason to remove the subsidy, a move that will automatically increase the pump price of the petrol, the timing is wrong, and we are seriously suggest that such proposal, led by the governor of Kaduna State, the committee of the Governors Forum, that propose 380 naira or 420 as a fuel price. We suggest that such proposal be immediately suspended by our father, President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government. Another worrisome aspect of the planned subsidy removal is the government plan to pay monthly amount of 5,000 naira each for 40 million Nigerian poorest in this country. Now, should I give you a mathematics analysis of this? If truly our government is sincere, if genuinely our government believes in the interest of every individual in this country, they said the money that they are paying annually for subsidy removal is 1.8 trillion naira. And come into it again and again that they are going to pay 40 million Nigerian people 5,000 naira transport each. When we calculate it as a student, it amounts of 2.8 trillion naira annually. Scam is everywhere. Nigerians to elevate their transportation needs, by implication, the plan to pay 40 million Nigerian over 2 trillion naira annually is another window of corruption and excessive spending rather than being a way of cutting costs paid on subsidy. Which currently stand at less than 2 trillion naira annually. It is also imperative to us to ask our fathers, the federal government, the parameter for determining those Nigerians who are qualified to be among the 40 million beneficiaries. Under a system without a reliable database to know the number of the citizens, nor competent classification of the truly vulnerable group in Nigeria. We reject the so-called allowance for the 40 million Nigerian people in totality. It is merely an attempt to add a new dimension of economic woe upon Nigerians through this removal of subsidy. We wish to state further that before federal government can take any decision on the removal of the subsidy, it must be first demonstrated goodwill by ensuring that the NAPC makes the 4 refineries we have in this country work at full capacity so that to determine the exact cost of refining the product in the country and why we have to continue importing refining petroleum products in our country. Nigeria cannot continue to use this cost of implication of the petrol as the benchmark for determining the appropriate price of the product, especially the PMC, since it refined in our dear country, will not involve the same cost as important of refined products. We call on the President Muhammadu Buhari, our father, to consider the need to review the proposed removal of the fuel subsidy and make effort to look at the matter for the viewpoint of Nigerian masses. As present, the price of the cooking gas is at all-time high, making it unaffordable for average Nigerian students and Nigerian people to purchase. This also deserves the attention of the prompt intervention of the federal government, led by our father, President Muhammadu Buhari. And we believe the time to address this is now. We wish to restate our position, our stand, to any form of policy that can impose hardship on the Nigerian masses and Nigerian students. At this point in time, where hunger is killing us, at this point in time, that COVID-19 has sent most of our parents to jobless people. At this time, the Nigerian students cannot afford to pay their school fees. At this critical time, the companies have retrenched most of our parents. We are rejecting it in totality. We demand that the government should urgently address our local production capacity, as promised over the years before ever considering fuel subsidy removal. We shall be willing to work with the government and every stakeholders towards finding a way out for national challenge. In such manner that does not violate the right to the life of our people, the life of the masses in this country, the life of Nigerian students. We are saying this again and again. Our brothers and our sisters who are at home, the poorest Nigerian, the masses who could not come out and speak because we are the voice of the voiceless. We are saying this emphatically, that the government, that if government try to remove the fuel subsidy, coming up with the idea of giving 5,000 naira transport to unknowing 40 million people in a country where we don't have a database to know the number of the people that want to give, then we are saying this is another window of corruption. If 1.8 trillion naira is for the subsidy removal annually, but the federal government again saying they want to be paying for 5,000 naira to unknowing people, and annually is going to be 2.8 trillion. Who are they deceiving? I think silent is no more golden. So we join every civil society in this country. We urge all the civil society in this country. We urge all the youth group in this country. We want to commend the effort of NSC. Yesterday they came out and they also take a position that the proposed fuel price by El-Rufai-led committee of the Governor Forum should be totally rejected by our president. We so stand by it. On this note, I want to thank you, gentlemen of the press, for your support, for supporting Nigerian students, for supporting Nigerian projects at all times. Is Oleto. Africa. Is Soweto. Thank you so much.
Soli, soli, soli.